Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I was running a little bit late. Realized I had stuff upstairs, and then, I had stuff upstairs, including parts for what we're working on tonight, and I'd forgotten to bring them downstairs. So, alright, first we're gonna see who's in the chat. We have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hi, Dave. We have Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. We have Jack68K. Hi, Jack. We have Adam McGee. Hi, Adam. We have Gutbomb. Yo. We have Jesse I803886SX. Welcome. We have Frodo Jedi. Well, hopefully we'll fix it tonight. It's not fixed yet. And I've got some people wondering if the T-Rex ate me. No, I was just completely disorganized. The Gutbomb says, what does channel surprise mean? Channel surprise means you sent me something. As in you sent me a surprise in the mail. As in like all the doodads you've sent me. So yeah, that's how you get in that designation, is if you actually like send a material good. So yeah, we have Francois. Hi, Francois. Let's see here. All right. Let's hide that because I currently do not have an active Ko-fi goal, which is why in the world it said $0 of 0%. Yeah, forgot to turn that off. Yeah, I removed the active Ko-fi goal, and I currently don't have a current goal because of the other news. I will not be at VCF East, so I know that's going to be a disappointment, but I had a go, no-go decision point that was lined up for today, and unfortunately, the decision point had to be no-go. So, yeah, Gutbomb says that should be 100%. Yeah, 100% of $0. It's Schrodinger's $0. It's both 100 and 0% until we open the box. Hi, Max. Welcome. So anyways, let's see here. I think that's all the channel announcements I have. Oh, I guess the one other announcement. Okay, stickers are on the way. I have the buttons. I'm going to come up with a plan to send them out to current and former channel supporters, and then I'll figure out a way to get them into other people's hands. So anyways, yes, I will let you know when I need addresses, but I'm not ready for them yet. Hi, K-Mac Vintage. Welcome. Yep. So anyways, and I guess because I'm not going to be able to go to VCF East, I'm back to my regular streaming schedules starting tonight, which is why I moved the stream to 9 p.m. Because, well, first of all, I thought I would get home early enough to start at 8, and then second of all, when I scheduled it, it was before I realized I'd be going back to my regular streaming schedule tonight. Yeah, their plans are not going to work out, so I will have to redouble my efforts for another VCF event, but I do not know if it will be Midwest this year because that event is looking kind of pricey in terms of me going. Also, they're currently out of hotel rooms. That's kind of one of those that I'd probably rather stay at the venue hotel. But yeah, so I don't know. I will redouble my efforts to go to another VCF, or we'll plan even earlier for VCF East next year. So yeah, just sometimes plans don't work out, and I would have. It's kind of one of those that I realized that I had to do something about it this morning, so I couldn't even like wait till the live stream tonight. So, anyways, and yes, let's see here. So it is still March and Tosh. I know Bruce started streaming a Power Book recap, but his thumbnail didn't have. Gupom says green gloves. Um, yeah, I've been using a different brand of gloves. They're green. You're like the first person in a while to actually point out that you realize they're green. Um, Jesse says you don't want to stay at some random hotel in Milwaukee. Yeah, it would be nice to see everyone there, but the hotel's like, I mean, I don't know. I at the moment, I mean, it's March 28th. BCF Midwest is like so far away, and we'll see. I can't commit to going there. I just had to cancel going to one VCF event and can't immediately commit to going to another one so soon. Also, if I do go, I wouldn't be able to exhibit. Although, have they even opened tables up for exhibitors yet? I couldn't tell on their website because it seems like the only link that worked was hotel rooms, and it tells you, the block is full. We're working on another one. But yeah, for those of y'all that don't realize how far Virginia is from Illinois, it's much further to Illinois than New Jersey. It's in Schaumburg. All right. Well, Adam says tables aren't open yet. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I think Illinois is like a 12-hour drive from here. It's like double the distance to VCF East. All right. Anyways, all right. I'll consider it. I might try for it. So, anyways, we'll just say that I wasn't able to book anything. I mean, I briefly looked at options right when they opened up hotels for VCF Midwest, but I wasn't able to book anything at that time. So I was pretty much tied in on East. Schaumburg, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, is the mall and McMansion part of the Chicago suburbs. I am not familiar with any of the Chicago suburbs, partly because I'm not. Anyways, so I think last time I worked on the Quadra 700, I recapped this wonderful Sony CD-ROM logic board, motherboard, silly board. I don't know what you call boards that are in CD-ROM drives. And I put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, I think 10 minutes aside, rinsed it with distilled water, put it in the oven to make sure it dried because it's been kind of on the cold side here in Virginia. It looks pretty good. Other than there seems to be a weird splotch on the SCSI connector. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. Yeah. Hashtag famous last words. 2 hours later, Justin's still trying to scrub off a. Oh, hi, Nigel. Nigel says controller board. Yeah, maybe that's a good name for it. IIvx says these boards are a pain. Yes, they are. And Sony used like the highest of quality capacitors. I know this is probably not even something you'll see when it's in the case, but it is kind of a weird spot that was there. It was going to bug me that was there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Capbomb says those tiny caps look goofy on the big silk screen. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Jack says, although I think they're marginally better than Style Writer boards. Well, that may also be very true. Jesse says, I know a genuine Sorny when I see one. Yeah, this was a sorry Sorny. I'm sure Apple asked Sony, how cheap can you make it? And they probably went back and forth for a couple rounds, and then Sony said, okay, well, I guess Apple's going to get the cheap capacitors. All right, so yeah, floppy. Nigel says floppy drive controller boards are even worse to work on. Yep, I would agree, and I've never worked on one. Adam says I have a Style Writer one that needs a recap. Oh joy, oh fun. I have some Style Writers. I've not been able to test them because I don't have cartridges for them. I haven't even powered them up, so I don't even know what state they're in, other than they're in Virginia. Jack says I put the board on my ultrasonic cleaner and a whole bunch of solder masks came off. I've actually worked on boards that have done that. That's no fun. All right, so for some reason on this drive, and this is partly all the late 90s stuff needs recap. Yes. Sadly, I think I'm noticing that the stuff from the late 90s is, yeah, not as good as the, like, late, early 80s. Although this CD-ROM drive, I believe, is probably from closer to 1990, but I guess it was the dawn of surface mount electrolytic capacitors, and some of them were just downright atrocious. Anyways, Adam said, I left an Apple IIc board in my ultrasonic for days, and all the writing floated off. Yeah. That reminds me, I need to change the water in my ultrasonic cleaner. All right. These are like really annoying to reconnect because I'm almost convinced that these were assembled. I am sometimes convinced that when they assemble these at the factory, they can like push stuff into the bottom of the drive sometimes. Whereas to repair it afterwards, you have to deal with putting things in the top. Oh, hey Chris, welcome. Have I ever recapped a Game Gear? No, I haven't. Could I recap a Game Gear? Probably. But I've never done it. I do occasionally look for Game Gears because it's kind of something I would like to try to do, but they kind of go for silly money. They sometimes go for silly money, and then the other thing is you're pretty much guaranteed to have to replace the caps, but you're probably going to have to do something about the screen too, because the screens in them are like downright awful. Oh yeah, Gut Bomb said it had these strange surface mount caps that were really just through-hole parts in little plastic boxes. They suck. Yes, they do. All right, I got the board in. Adam says they used those weird box caps on the Newton too. Yes. All right. I think luckily I'm remembering to put the plastic piece onto the back of the drive because I think oh, all right. Yeah, someday I'll get a Game Gear. I mean, we used to have one. Just realized my well, I'll have to like I need to set OBS up so that if I like hide certain things in one scene, it like does it for the rest of them too for me. Because which just if anyone's wondering, I just don't have an active coffee goal right now. It's not because I've stopped using coffee. I just don't have a goal set right now. So yeah, just if anyone's wondering. But since I don't have a goal set, I'll hide the banner so it's not blocking part of the screen. My video is about a second or two behind my audio. Hmm. Okay, please wait while I attempt to resolve that problem. All right, I'm not sure if that's any better. I have a I do have a plan to fix it, and I mean, I was tempted to set a small coffee goal to help me get the rest of the stuff I need to do it, but I didn't. But I do have. I just decided because I wanted to try to get this done for March and Tosh that I was just going to get to work. I'll do Wheel of Regrets another night. I also think I am putting some of these screws on too soon. But I did possibly against my better judgment. I bought an XLR audio input. And I do have it. It's actually sitting on top of the HP Z440 that I will put into service real soon now. And I'm not sure these are the. Well, these have to be the right screw. Okay. Anyways, I don't have an XLR microphone yet. So I saw one last night for like $32 on Amazon. It has decent reviews. But I missed the it was on like their flash sale thing. But I missed it. I didn't get an order in time. Okay, I feel like I am forgetting something. Oh, it's the front faceplate. That I think I got to put the front faceplate in first. Hi, Trina. Welcome. Um. Oh yeah. So, did I get a focus right? I don't know what a focus right is. I was. Uh. I'll. When I get the CD-ROM drive back together, I'll show you what I got. I can. I'll pull it out, but I don't have a microphone for it. But I'll at least show you what I got to try to improve my audio situation. I just got to remember. There's like one small trick to putting these things back together. Because there's a catch inside the drive, and then the thing the catch has to line up on. Focusrite XLR thingy. Um, I'll have to search Amazon to see what it is. I always forget which way the catch has to go. Because it's like one of those, inevitably you end up pulling the. Oh, wait a minute. Is that it? I want to say the little plastic. Oh, there we go. I think that might be it. All right. I think what I'm going to need to do is. All right. So, what I'm going to do after I try to remember which screw goes where, because now I think I see that there's. Oh, okay. So, those two screws go on the top. And then. All right. I think the long screws go on the front. And then the two shorter screws go on the sides here. Could be completely wrong. So what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure I even have that plastic thing lined up, is I'm going to first probably realize that the thing I'm looking for is actually not down here. And then I will probably end up going upstairs for it, and then probably realize that it is actually. Oh, wait a minute. I see part of it now, which means it's actually not upstairs. It can't be upstairs. There it is. It was down here. Yay, for once I found something and it didn't take a 20-minute escapade through the house. So, because I'm not sure. Alright. I'm not sure if I got the thing lined up correctly. So, I'm going to use this external power adapter. Power up the SCSI drive. Hopefully. Assuming the SCSI drive isn't going to outsmart me. Alright, it should be plugged in, should have power. So I'm going to try to inject a CD caddy. I have one sitting over here. And in fact, it even has a disc in it. And I'm going to make sure that when I inject the disc, that the caddy loaded thing, which you can see right here at the top, should flip down to cover the door when I push this in. And it did not. It instead spit the disc back out at me. Well, alright, I might have another problem. Okay. Either the drive is too smart to let you inject a disk while it's not plugged into a computer, or there's something else jammed up. Well, I have one of these Sony Caddy drives that does work. This one, though, was in the 2VX case that I bought to put my Quadra 700 in, and I knew it needed recapped, but when I opened it up, I wasn't sure if it was missing pieces or not, and I might actually have some confirmation here. Because I thought there was a little front panel board that's missing from this one, but that's also not to say that it didn't get cost reduced out, because it really does nothing in a Macintosh computer. Alright, so I've plugged it in. I saw the heads move. This is going to be really hard to show. Alright, so if I try to inject the disk, alright, I see the arm is... Okay, I may have it reassembled slightly wrong. KMax says it won't drop without power. Well, I gave it power. And it was dropping, and then it's popping back up immediately. So, I might have the... I may have the front caddy loaded thing misaligned. KMax says I managed to plug in one of these upside down once and killed the hard drive. Yeah. I think the plug is upside down on this. Hi, V-Borg, welcome. All right, I think I've got the front. I think I may have this front panel misaligned. So let me see what happens if I insert the disc without this front panel on. Caution, trained YouTube guesser, closed basement, do not attempt. Note that I'm not testing this with the laser exposed. I'm keeping the board there in case the laser's like firing on all cylinders right now. All right, so if I put this in, what's the chances that this thing really is looking for a SCSI bus? All right. Okay, let's see if I can give it a SCSI bus. What's the quickest way to give it a SCSI bus? Well, it might actually be my LC2. If I can find my longer SCSI ribbon cable with more than one connector on it. And I can at least give it a SCSI bus that will actually have an OS behind it. Hold on, let me see what I can find. I don't know what I did with my long SCSI cable. Oh, here we go. I've got a long SCSI cable. Also, does anyone know if Eric Helgeson got the tape drives he was looking for? Translation. Eric, Blue SCSI. Okay, he'll be in the chat in like 5 minutes or so now. Yeah, seriously, you talk about Blue SCSI and Eric Helgeson like somehow detects it and like enters the chat. And I'm like I'm half joking. All right. So, I have my very special Macintosh LC2 here. What makes it so special? Well, it has my name on it. See? Got my name on it. Actually, this is a Oh, my Apple keyboard is not down here. Oh, I'll have to go upstairs and get my Apple keyboard. So it's got a replica Micro Mac accelerator card in it. So this will actually go a little faster than stock. Yeah. Viborg says, I personally rode the short bus, never heard of a SCSI bus. Is that some new transport? It's it's the bus all the Mac fans have to use because it's what Apple went with. Although, granted, some people might say it's because Apple picked the most expensive technology, but I don't know if IDE or some other technology was necessarily really suited for the Mac, because a lot of the other hard drive technologies that were used in PCs and other platforms were kind of specific to that other platform, whereas SCSI was more of a not so specific to the platform. Expansion bus. And it was also not limited to just hard drives. So if Apple was going to give you one expansion bus for a computer that's designed for desktop publishing, where you might want to use things like scanners and other such devices, SCSI actually made a lot of sense, even if it was more expensive. Yeah, SCSI was much better, like, back in the day. Until IDE, like, caught up with it and exceeded it. Although Apple's initial attempts at implementing IDE weren't that great and probably gave it a black mark. But yeah, when Apple added SCSI to the Mac Plus, I don't think there was a better... I don't think they had a better option that would have had benefits to outweigh the SCSI wasn't just a hard drive expansion bus. Yeah, Jesse says, Apple and standards, no chance. Yeah, Nigel says, especially for early CD burners, IDE burners were prone to buffer underrun. Yes, that they were. Gutbomb says, I thought this was a Quadra 700 CD, not an LC2 CD. Well, Gutbomb, to make sure I've got the CD-ROM working, it was an easier putt to use an LC2. Although I just realized my... Oh, good night, Trina. Thanks for joining. I just realized that my ADB keyboard is upstairs because we had a little engineering challenge for our engineering week celebration, and it was a Hello World application, most creative Hello World application. So I did mine in HyperCard and I ran it on a Mac SE. Yeah, let's just say that a couple people, that brought back memories seeing that Mac SE. Which means my ADB keyboard and mouse are still upstairs because I didn't bother to bring them downstairs. So let me go. This is more like an LC 2.5 anyway. Yeah. All right. This is like the intermediate step to getting this working because it's a whole lot easier to get to the SCSI bus and power on the LC2 than in the Quadra 700 because of the way the drive cage works. So this will help me troubleshoot the CD-ROM drive faster. So overall, this will help me to get to a Quadra 700 CD faster than me trying to do it on the Quadra 700 itself. But I do need to go find the... Actually, I don't need to find the keyboard. Not at first. There's no SD card in that blue SCSI. Let me power it up. Oh, probably help if I turned on power. Because actually, all I really needed to do was... I need to see if it'll take the CD with the SCSI bus attached. So, yeah, I don't have a SCSI to USB adapter. I probably would have used that for a quick test. All right. So, let's see. All right. Okay, the one thing I'm noticing is it is still spitting the disk out like immediately. So that behavior did not change. Also, the other thing I noticed is it didn't seem like the Mac OS got to the point where it detected that wasn't a bootable CD to show the X, like not the icon that it shows you if it's not a bootable disk when you try to insert it. So I think we need to open the drive back up. And the only thing I know to do is maybe check lubrication points. And if that's not it, then I'm going to have to probably jump to the conclusion that the fact that I noticed that there was a board missing from this drive that was not missing from the other one that I have might mean that someone removed that board and then put the drive back together. Because while it kind of didn't look like anyone had been inside of it before, I can't I can't completely say that this was a not potentially a someone just did a really good job at putting it back together after stealing the front panel board. Unfortunately, I don't have another one of these Sony Apple CD 300 drives to like steal parts from, so this might be this might mean I can't have a Quadra 700 CD tonight. The thing is, no backblaze. You may not install an update right now. I mean, it was nice enough for it to ask me by means of it giving me a UAC prompt, but no, you can't install an update right now. I'm streaming. Of course, they'll probably like squawk at me here momentarily. Is like, we noticed you declined our upgrade. Please upgrade your software because reasons to make you feel guilty. All right. The only thing I can think of, if it's not the fact that that front panel board actually is important and was swiped from this drive. Because, I mean, the thing is, I've only ever seen 2 of these drives. The only other thing I can think of is that maybe it needs lubricated. Oh, well, that's actually okay. Okay, it is unplugged if anyone's wondering. Okay, KMax says not all of them have that board on the front panel. All right, unless I think the head assembly might be. I think the head assembly might be like jammed. Because it's like hitting a hard stop, like right there. So it hits a hard stop there and there. So unless there's like some other mechanical lever, maybe or maybe it requires the disc to be injected. All right. That's right. This has to have power to It won't move till it drops, and it won't drop without power. Alright, I guess the best thing I can do is put a little lithium grease on it. I keep forgetting to go to the hardware store and get the like pasty stuff that I can like kind of just dispense from a container and apply. So until then, I'll put some of the spray stuff on the bag there and apply it. Because I don't want to get it like all over the drive by trying to spray it into the drive. That would be one good way to get it onto the laser assembly, and then we all know exactly how well it will read discs then. I think we have a backroads country word for that called bumpkus. It will read bumpkus if I get lithium grease onto the laser wire. All right. I'll plug it in. Let me at least try to lubricate the moving parts and pieces because it might need it. All right, that seems pretty good. There are some gears in here because I'm wondering if something's like needs some extra lubrication because of how old and crusty it is. Maybe one of these gears is like all right. All right. Let's put the board back on and see if I can get it to work. I mean, I can't discount the fact that there might be something wrong with the mechanism, and I would probably never know it. I'm not necessarily convinced that the 2VX that I bought for specifically for the purpose of harvesting its case and CD-ROM drive for this project. Can't say that it was necessarily stored in the best of conditions because, quite honestly, it looks like it was stored outdoors, or at least in a non-climate controlled environment that was could have been very unkind to its electronics. Always possible this CD-ROM drive failed back in the mid to late 90s and may never work again. But I'm at least going to attempt to get it working before I summarily declare it as lost to time. All right. So just to keep this board in place, All right. All right. So power is in. Okay. So I just unplugged it while the disk caddy is down because I want to try to get some of this lithium grease on the other side of these gears. I'm not exactly sure that because I don't know what the problem might be, but just in case it's oh, got bomb. I usually get the SanDisk tiny ones, but make sure you get the actual SanDisk tiny ones. Also, their longevity is not as great compared to some of SanDisk's ridiculously larger for a GoTech offering. All right, good night, Francois. Oh, hi, Jeremy. Welcome. Okay. Okay. I have lubricated it. The disc is not staying in. Let's pull the LC tube back out. So that I can plug it in to the SCSI. And let's see if this CD-ROM drive is even. Let's see if it's detected by a utility of some sort. Seems like a logical next step. All right. No, we're not gonna duct tape it in. I I like the LC series too much to duct tape the CD-ROM drive into it. Yeah, I don't know which of these are bootable, so. Oh. Oh, hi, Adam. I'm trying to figure out if the CD-ROM drive's even being detected, because it just keeps spitting the disk out. Just realized I don't have a keyboard plugged in. Okay, well, that wasn't a bootable disk anyways. All right, let me go upstairs and grab the keyboard and mouse. Because I had to take the keyboard and mouse with me to work to show off my Hello World application. All right. Yeah, that would be easier than fixing it for sure, Adam. Oh. All right, Ian and or Steve, if you're lurking in the background, thank you for the photo. Okay. Does this even see the CD-ROM drive? Oh. Oh, well, this isn't going to work. Try another disc. Oh, hi, Retrovance. Welcome. Maybe Apple. Let's try that disc. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. That's not a good disc. System disks. All right, let's try this one. Oh, hi, Stan. Welcome and thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy says it seems to have a case of the no-see-ums. Yeah, I'd rather be dealing with no-see-ums because you hear the little in your ear and you know you're about to get bitten by one. All right, Apple HDSC setup. Will it even show CD-ROM drives on the bus? Oh, unable to locate a suitable drive connected to the SCSI port. Oh. Oh, but actually, it'd probably be easier if I'd go find a SD card to put in the blue SCSI in here and try that, but All right. This is probably going to get annoying by it asking me to swap disks. Nope, that's not going to help. All right. All right, let me see if I got an SD card down here for a blue SCSI. All right. Is it okay? If I don't have one just right down here, then there's one at the top of the stairs, I believe, in the because I had to take an external blue SCSI to work the internal blue SCSI that I used at VCF East last year, and my SE decided that it was done with booting forever and ever. And yeah, Jeremy, I had to cancel my VCF East trip. So yeah. All right. I think this card came out of a blue SCSI, so hopefully it's bootable. Otherwise, I'll go up to the. Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed a problem. It does help to plug in the CD-ROM drive to probably propagate termination power to the rest of the SCSI bus. I may also have to check the termination power jumpers on the CD-ROM drive. Yeah, that's hold on, I think I got a bad SCSI jump ring. The blue SCSI has no power. Okay, fine, fine. I'll go get the external blue SCSI. Okay, external blue SCSI is just at the top of the stairs. Let me go grab it. I had to use it to boot my SD, and apparently I'm going to try to use it. All right. External blue SCSI. It's a V2. Don't know if the image is compatible with this computer. However, if it's not compatible with this computer, I will use the Flappy Emu to boot a system that is, and then I can run the... Oh, interesting. All right. I gotta get the... Okay, I think I got the disc inserted in time. There we go. The system that's on this image is probably something installed for just an SE or something like that. Yeah, I guess if anyone's wondering about this upgrade card I have in this LC2, it's one of Joe's prototypes of the Mac Effects reproduction of the Micro Mac upgrade card, which is why it's green, and which is why it has my name on it, because Joe wrote my name on it. So this LC2 should be actually running as an 030 right now. Because this card requires no drivers or anything. It just works. In fact, this is Macintosh LC, but I know this is an LC2. In fact, I could run Snooper and it would tell you it's running on an 030. But that's not why I booted this image. I actually wanted SCSI Director. Adam says, I had the real version of that Micromac card. It was pitiful and a waste of time when that slot can take Ethernet or an Apple IIe card. Gupbomb says LC2 has an 030 anyways. Yes, but it doesn't have a 32 megahertz 030. This is an accelerator card. Okay, so my Sony CD-ROM drive is being detected. Awesome. Adam says he sold it 2 days before they announced they were cloning it. Okay, so the Sony drive is seen. What happens if I insert a disk? And it just spits it right out. Yep, I'm putting in a disk and it spits it right back out. Yeah, it's spitting the disk right back out. Adam says that means it's broken. That's what I figured. Alright, I guess it's broken. I don't think there's really much more I can do to it. I recapped it. And I lubricated all the points I could get to. K-Max says, check if it has rubber boots backside of the metal tray. They can get stuck stopping the drop. I believe it is dropping all the way down, Will. I mean, I'll check it. But it does feel like it's dropping, and it looks like it's dropping all the way down. And then immediately um Viborg, I am like pushing it in probably as hard as I can without thinking I'm going to break something. Although I will try harder. Let me check the rubber boots. K-Max says, send it to me. You will pay shipping. Okay, well, if I can't. All right, Will, if I can't fix it, then I'll take you up on your offer. Let's see. Scarlet the Fried Cuda asks, what flavor of CD are you using? It might not like the taste. I am using an actual. I'm using a Apple. It's a MacBench 4.0 CD, so it should be. It should totally be in a format that this Mac will like. So it's not like I'm trying to use like High Sierra or yeah, like High Sierra format. It should be a Mac CD. I I mean, I do see some rubber boots on the side of the drive. I mean, I did hold on. I took the screws out on the one side. Let me put the screws back in. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing and neither can I. Oh, okay, well, I'll if I can't fix it then okay. Yeah, I'll quite possibly take you up on that offer. Because if you can fix it, I can probably swing return shipping. And if you can't fix it, then you could keep it for parts. Viborg is pointing out that it possibly was the screws all along. Place your bets in the chat. Viborg says it's dead, risk it. All right, well, let me put these screws back in because they look like they go into the rubber boots that Will was describing that it sometimes gets stuck on. They're kind of on the side, though. Oh, maybe they're not rubber boots. I don't see any rubber boots on the back. But maybe the things that it was screwed into on the side were more important than I thought they were. Okay, we'll give it another try. So I was saying it had a screw loose. Yeah, it could have been at least one loose screw. Could have also been user error. It's been a week and it's only Thursday evening. I mean, at least I'm not jumping off the walls because I had a retirement celebration at work, which involved a retirement breakfast, and then we did something in our department because one of the retirees is in our department. So that was like sugar overload. Adam just bought a Mac Alley ADB keyboard and mouse to go with his power computing tower. Something tells me it might have been a keyboard I was watching. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, maybe it wasn't. All right, while we wait for this to boot, because there's like 45 minutes left in the best offer the seller sent me, and I am apparently wanting to punish myself potentially with a $17 ship. No, that wasn't the auction I was watching. Because I'm potentially wanting to punish myself again with buying another monitor on eBay that will probably be improperly packed and damaged in transit. And I'm slightly hesitant to do it because it's the same seller that I bought the first one from that got damaged in transit and they had to refund. But it's a specific monitor for a specific purpose. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I guess I can only say shame on me if I realize that the reason why FedEx broke it in transit was because it was them, not a one off FedEx mistake. Oh, okay. So let me see. Is the I dread the idea of shipping them too, but this is like a very specific monitor I'm buying for a very specific project, and I have not been able to find it locally. I haven't had a chance to test that Dell monitor yet. All right, I'm gonna give it the heave ho. You know, yeah, it keeps just spitting it out. Well, Adam, unless you bought a lot of Zenith monitors, then that is not the brand I'm looking for. All right. Oh, Nice, Adam. Really. All right. I think the CD-ROM drive is broken. I'm going to give it one last. Oh, Adam, that's I'm not looking for a Zenith composite monitor. I'm looking for a Zenith VGA monitor. So it's for my first PC rebuild project. Oh, all right. So I'm going to try to try to put this drive back together, but I first want to see if I. Yes, I know I've got it turned on. I'm trying to put the front panel thing back on, which I can't do with it on because I need to move the board. But then I need to power it back up and test it to make sure I got the thing aligned right. Although it won't really help because it's not like it's accepting the disk far enough. All right, I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try to put it completely back together. It may have no bearing on it working, but just in case one of these other screws is actually going into something that serves a very important purpose for reasons that only Sony would fully comprehend. Actually, I think. All right. Hold on a moment. I gotta remember how there's like a little lever on this one side of the drive, and I always have to remember whether it goes over or under. All right, okay, I think that's lined up right. Okay, let me see if I can get some of these screws back in real quick. You can place your bets in the chat whether putting all the screws in this will result in a working drive or will just result in me having a reassembled drive to send to KMac to try to repair. I guess in either case, I got to put the drive back together. One, just to make sure it's not a screw that is serving a more important purpose than I give it credit for. And the other, because, well, I'd have to send all the parts to Will anyways. Place your bets in the chat. Keyboard bet 7, quat lose. Well, I bet that I forgot to put this plastic piece in the correct order. Oh, wait. I think it'll... Oop. All right. Hold, please. Okay, you got to put the plastic piece in before you can put the controller board in. All right. Yep, sounds good, Will. Thanks. All right. Those of you wondering if I've yet accepted the seller's offer, I'm still waffling on it. I just realized that they really aren't offering me that much off their purchase price. I might just wait. The monitor I'm looking for doesn't show up very often. And I can't see the chat because I swapped windows. Okay, so I've got the lid back on, the back's back on, the side's back on. Do I have any screws left? No, it looks like I got all the screws in. So 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, one last try. Okay, one last try. All right. Yeah, it's just spitting the disc out still. Although I did get the caddy Wait a minute. It didn't spit the disk out that time. Yes, the caddy loaded does show up. But then it ejects it. Now, that one time where it actually read the disk, it then complained that it couldn't write the desktop file and ejected the CD. Well, Jeremy, I can try to advise the seller of how to pack a monitor, but it's a e-waste company, and something tells me they will want to do it their way, which is totally fine if they want to have to give me a full refund again. They did ship it CRT face down. They did wrap it in bubble wrap in a box filled with packing peanuts. Viborg, a road trip to pick it up is not an option because it's like somewhere in Missouri. Too far to drive to pick up. Plus, they have a no local pickups option unless they say on their on their auction that the only items they'll let you pick up locally are anything they're going to ship freight. I do not have the CD-ROM drive extension installed. KMax says the door flap could be stuck down, won't move up to let disk eject. No, the disk is ejecting. Gutbomb says install desktop manager extension. Uh, um, they won't let you pick it up. I can't install the desktop manager extension because I'm booting from a floppy disk. Because this image on my Blue SCSI is not supported by this Mac. I'd have to go find another image. Besides, it is ejecting this disk so quickly, I don't think it's even starting to read the disk. Yeah, it's injecting and ejecting. It's not getting caught. It's ejecting. But it's ejecting so quick, I don't think the extension is going to help. I mean, it goes in, and I can see that the caddy loaded flap is there, but then it ejects it. I don't even hear it spinning up. I don't think it's spinning at all. There we go, it's spinning. It only took like 10 tries. Okay, well, that time it picked it up immediately again. Well, Jeremy, I'm torn. I would like the monitor it's the same one I had for my first PC, but I don't want another one to get broken in transit because that just wastes my time. And plus, they could be a little less accommodating the second time around. I'll contact this. I'll do a contact the seller. I will ask if they will pack it more appropriately than simply throwing it in a box with packing peanuts. Oh, the thing is, they didn't ask me to return the first monitor, but they also didn't tell me that they also didn't advise me whether or not FedEx is going to need it, so I'd still have it. But the there's a lot of broken plastic. Because there are 3 of these monitor on eBay right now. Yeah, the packing peanuts don't stand a chance. You're right. There's 3 of this monitor on eBay right now, despite the fact that for years I've not seen any of them. However, the other 2 are off the table because one of them is in Europe and it's missing the shell, so it would never survive shipping. The second one is an auction that also includes the computer, and they've got it listed for like $2,000. I don't want the computer, and I'm not probably going to be able to offer them anywhere close to what they would take for just the monitor, because I'm sure they know what they have. No low balls. So this third one is this e-waste company that seemingly apparently has come into more than one of them, but seems to be listing them one at a time. Adam says had an LCD monitor arrive damaged because of bad packaging. She didn't have a box large enough, so she made a box out of 4 smaller boxes. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. All right, let me see if I've got a blue scuzzy image that will run on this computer, on my streaming computer. If I do, I'll then have to find the smallest SD card reader in the world to write the image. I have no idea where I've misplaced it. The one I was considering having shipped because they don't let you pick it up unless the seller says on their eBay listing that they only allow local pickups for items being shipped freight. It's in Missouri. Yeah, no, it's no local pickup because they're not shipping it freight. They will. Adam says, go there and get a motel room across the street and have it delivered. Yeah. Yeah, no local pickup's dumb. Well, it's not like I can drive to Missouri to pick something up like that. It would cost more in wear and tear on my car and gas than it would in shipping. It's like I can't I can't go pick an item up like that. I also don't want to risk another one getting broken in shipping. I don't know. I could just forget about the whole idea of trying to buy the exact monitor I used to have. All right, I'm attempting to find Let's see. I don't think I got a blue scuzzy image on this computer. Yeah. All right. I'm not really sure getting the CD extension is going to help this anyways because I don't think the drive's spinning up. I really don't think the drive's spinning up. I think it's just spitting it out most of the time right as soon as I put it in. Fortunately, I think I'd have to go all the way upstairs to get a blue scuzzy in. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I did. I just looked in the wrong place. All right, let me see if I can find like the world's smallest SD card reader. I really don't want to have to go upstairs to go find one. I should have one down here somewhere, but as Gut Bomb would probably attest to, it is like the world's smallest SD card reader, easily misplaced. You all probably know how I misplace things all the time. And if you don't know how easily I misplace things down here, then maybe you should smash that like button and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll get to see more of my live streams, and then you'll realize that I misplace things all the time. But we'll work on other cool computers in the process. Yeah, I've probably misplaced it. Yeah, it's tiny. It's like practically no bigger than the micro SD card that goes in it plus a USB port. Like, it could be sitting on my bench and it's tiny enough I wouldn't be able to necessarily see it right offhand. In fact, it's such a small thumb drive. I don't think I could put an AirTag on it to be able to find it when I lose it because it's that small. Oh, wait, is that it? Right there? That can't. Oh! Okay, I didn't find the one Gut Bomb sent me, but I just found the one that came with my Reality 3D printer, maybe? Adam says, I gently click the like button. Yeah, uh that might also be for the best. I wouldn't want anyone to break their monitor. All right, good night, Adam. Alright, did that fix it? I hope that fixed it. Yeah, I didn't rename the image file enough, so the Blue Scuzzy mounted the one that's not compatible with this Mac. I am hoping switching to XLR audio fixes those problems. Of course, I have to wonder because it seems like you lost the audio about the time I bumped the mic. Okay, you probably heard some thumps, but do you still hear my audio? Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I suspect my audio's gone again. Oh, you can still hear it? Okay. For a moment, I thought that I finally realized that if I bump my mic, the audio goes away. Alright. That would have been too convenient. Alright. It is 3, 28, 2024. Oh, alright. And I guess the time is 11, 3. Yeah, that'll work. Close enough. Alright. Alright, I don't think I have the CD extension installed. Although I might actually, because I got CD audio player installed. Alright, let me see what I got installed here. Oh, Apple CD-ROM. Okay. Do have the CD-ROM extension. Okay, it is definitely... Yeah, it's spitting it out. Still... Let me see if I can insert it enough times so it'll actually spin it up. There we go. I think it's spinning it up. Hey, there we go. I got MacBench 3 on here. Oh, good. This image doesn't have MacBench 4 on it. All right. So I if I get the disc to actually stay in, it works. Yeah, we're definitely copying files off the CD. So yes, it would appear as if the drive is actually working if you can get the disk to stay in. But there seems to be something wrong with it that it's like ejecting the disk right back out most of the time. So I'm probably going to end up sending it to Will to see if he can figure out why most of the time it just spits it right back out. And I guess knowing that the mechanism is working, uh okay, I don't have enough RAM to run MacBench 4, but oh yeah, LC2, there's only 10 megs of RAM. Only so much I can do. Yeah, I guess if we can figure out why it keeps spitting disks out, the mechanism itself is reading. Yeah, it's reading them. Of course, is this just the thing that I needed to just insert discs enough time to get the new lubrication to. Yeah, now I ejected it and I put the disc in, and there you see it mounted it. And it's like working now. There, I've inserted it 3 times in a row, and it's taken the disc. And there's the 4th time. Okay. All right. Let's restart the Mac. I mean, that would certainly be nice if I didn't have to send the drive to Will, because that saves us on shipping. Maybe I just needed to insert discs until it like worked that new lithium grease through all the gears, and trying to see if I've got another like CD handy. Okay, interesting. Okay, it took 3 tries to get it to take the disc. Huh. And it took it. Alright. Let's see what else I got on the bench in close proximity. So this was a MacBench 4 disc that I'd bought on eBay for the express purpose of having a pressed CD that I could put in a Mac CD-ROM drive, and I knew it would be happy with it. Plus, I could actually run the benchmarks. Oh, here we go. Let's try this CD. It's a CompuServe 2000 CD. Just released, like, probably 25 years ago. There might actually be a Mac partition on this disk, but I also do have PC File Exchange loaded, so. And there we go. I could install CompuServe 3 for the Mac. Yeah. I also install Mac CIM utility. What utilities? That CompuServe PPP installer. JFAX. All right. So it read the CompuServe disk. Whoop. All right. Let's get a little more creative here. Maybe not too much more creative though. Although at this point, being that it's taken me this long to get the CD-ROM drive to cooperate. Are these CDs or these? Ah, okay, this is a free DOS CD, so I believe it's going to be in like a DOS file system. Let's see if this will read a recordable CD. All right, it took the disc. I hear it making spinning noises. Look at that. There we go. The PC file exchange is, yeah, we're reading a burned DOS CD. Yeah, this drive works as soon as you can get it to start taking CDs. It works. I think I just probably need to work the mechanism a little while longer, and then it'll probably just get to the point where it takes the caddy most of the time. It's probably. Nah. Oh, my caddy just broke. Well, RIP vintage caddy. What's the chances that they. Oh. Well, this might be a disappointing moment because I think that. All right. I don't think I've got another caddy. I'll probably just end up breaking down and buying one from Mac Effects because I think theirs are new reproductions and not vintage ones that have brittle plastic. Yeah, totally. The drive is working better and better. All right. Well, I guess since this is a Marchintosh stream, even though I not doesn't look like I'm going to get my original goal done, I will at least if I can find where Snooper is. Oh, maybe I don't have. Oh, maybe I don't have Snooper installed on this. Oh, okay. Well, I can fix that quickly. we'll just go ahead and install Snooper. All right. Which, by the way, to get the fancy F that usually gets appended to the name of a folder that's the same name as the disk, Option F. Oh, I guess, okay, that didn't show what I wanted to. I think this will. All right, so this is an LC2, but if you'll notice, the CPU speed is 31 megahertz because that's the Micromac accelerator clone. It is the processor on that card is running at 30, I think it's actually 32 megahertz, rounding. And there is an FPU on the card as well. So I have a 68882, but I want to say the FPU might actually be running at 16 megahertz, but I don't have a way of knowing. Anyways, yeah, the CPU on the accelerator card works at double the speed, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's that clone card that I have in this LC2. All right. Okay, so the CD-ROM drive kind of still needs some like inject and ejecting to probably completely work whatever its problem is out. But I guess for now, I'll let Will know that it might have just needed a bunch of CD insertions to work whatever problem was wrong with it. Which I guess is good. So, yes, thank you, VBorg, for imploring that I just continue to insert the CD with force if necessary, because apparently it needed a little bit of force and multiple repetitions. All right. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I'm quite ready to say that the drive is ready for installation in the Quadra 700 CD because I think I'd kind of like to work out its issues before installing it. But I think it is salvageable. So I'll set that to the side. I guess there's one other thing we can look at. Unfortunately, I realized that I forgot to crimp a new connector on the fan for the power supply, so I can't put the power supply back together yet. I realized that like right before I started the stream. I was like, oh, I forgot to take that go crimp that. So I can't put the power supply back together. I don't really want to put the CD-ROM back in until I'm sure that I've got it working right. But there is one thing I can do. Although, hold on, let me, I was about to put this away, but let me try one thing here. I did have trouble with the blue SCSI that was in this LC. But because I would like to put this LC back together sooner rather than later, I'm tired of I'm tired of having so many computers that I haven't put back together, but I think this one's apart because I need to service the floppy drive. Let me see if it's internal blue. Okay, there we go. I think the blue SCSI might be working. I think it might have just been that I couldn't daisy chain it with the CD-ROM drive. Probably a multiple terminator issue. All right. Want to make sure I have all the parts together for the CD-ROM drive, which I do. So that there, where I probably will knock it over and lose parts. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this blue SCSI is working. It must have been a multiple terminator issue. Very good. I mean, I'll probably put a blue SCSI V2 in this at some point because I was pretty much just going to. For ease of maintenance, and the fact that I have enough boards to build blue SCSI V2s for a bunch of Macs, I was just going to put blue SCSI V2s in most all of my Macs just for ease of maintenance. Because I think you can, with the current version of firmware, I think you can update the firmware on it just by writing a firmware image to the SD card. Which would mean I could actually install the blue SCSI in a case, and maybe for like an LC, I could print one of the this does not compute slot covers that you put the SD adapter in, and then basically to update the firmware, I could just pull the card out, put a new one in, and update firmware, because I'm pretty sure the blue SCSI V2s can do that. And if not, they probably should, and I'll bring it up to Eric Helgeson that they need SD card update. Then you can just update it without opening the case, and given how brittle some of the cases on these LCs are, that's always good when you can update firmware without opening them up. So I was looking to see if I could see the stamp on this case to see if it said ABS or ABS plus FR, because someone on Dave's stream, I think it might have been Garth, mentioned the secret to knowing if the case was going to be brittle or not. I'm not sure that's visible with the shield on the bottom. Anyways. Okay, so I guess my LC2 has helped test things tonight. I guess just for anyone that's curious. Anyways, there's my LC2. This is not the LC2 that I put a socket in, but here's the accelerator card. So there's the 68030 processor running at 33 megahertz, and then the 68882. And I think it's that this this chip here, which is a programmed part. I'm not sure if it's a gal or a pal or whatnot. But I think that's what does the magic of doubling the 16 megahertz clock to give this processor a 32 megahertz clock. Anyways, yeah, that's the accelerator. This is my LC that, yeah, it kind of makes it a little less useful because I don't have a network card in it. But then again, I don't need to network all my Macs. So anyways, there we go. So that's the LC2 I was using for testing. I'll go put it back in its resting spot until I can get it back together. But at least I know now that without the CD-ROM installed, this Blue SCSI is working. I may put a V2 in it at some point, but for the moment, since it's like a little faster than an LC, I thought I'd give it my Blue SCSI F1. I mean, waste not, want not. Until I get my Blue SCSI V2s assembled, I was like, well, I'll give this one the F1. It deserves it. It's a little faster than a standard LC2. And with the faster processor, you actually do see a little bit of an uplift from the faster Blue SCSI. All right. I guess the here we go. I was going to probably knock that box over that I put the sliding rails on for the CD-ROM drive, and I did, but luckily I caught the box before it fell and pulled the screws out. All right. I guess there's one other thing I can do tonight. Jeremy says faster Mac is better than file transfers. Well, yeah, because I guess the thing is, I can always get files on the image file another way. Not like I got all the time in the world to network old Macs together. If anyone's wondering why I haven't bothered with the global talk thing, I haven't had time to. And now Marchintosh is almost over, and the thing is, I haven't been able to spam Steve's printer yet. That's probably the worst part about it. I haven't been able to spam Steve's printer. Of course, maybe I'm just waiting for him to set up the image writer that takes the extra wide paper. I know he's got at least 2 of them. Jack says, I have a feeling that Global Talk isn't going anywhere. Yeah, you're probably right. Although I guess at least the one good thing about me not having set it up yet is I didn't have to run disinfectant on any of my Macs because I didn't have Global Talk set up, so I didn't get a case of IIvx A. All right. The floppy drive carrier is kind of like stuck, so I'm trying to encourage it by hitting the bracket with a hammer, not the drive itself, because the okay, I know I removed the one screw that holds it in. There we go. All right, got it. Jack says use the pre-made image to set it up if I don't want to spend hours configuring it. Well, I haven't had a chance to even do that yet. Of course, I didn't realize there was a pre-made image. Also, I'm like a little bit weary about network security. And it's not necessarily the network security, the 68,000 series based Mac that I would have open to the internet, because it's like, who's going to write new viruses for that? It seems unlikely. It's more of the security of the rest of my network. I mean, I do have to open a port, and yeah, Jack says network security is the thing that took me so long to set up Global Talk. Ew, this drive is gross. I can say that again. This drive is gross. Got like, ew. All right, Jeremy said, Jack says, all my vintage stuff is sandboxed onto its own VLAN. My router is not smart enough to do VLANs. I probably need to fix that. It's like on my list of things I need to do. Okay. Jeremy says, if anyone finds themselves near an HEB grocery store in Texas, here are the items I suggest you buy. Their blueberry muffins, their chili con queso dip from the cold section, and Dr. B. All right. I'm not sure what precipitated that random suggestion, but cool. If I do find myself in Texas near an HEB, I will attempt to remember those three items. Jack says the thing that took me the longest was attempting to see if I could run Apple Internet Router 3.0 on macOS 761. The answer is no. All right. If anyone is wondering about this floppy drive that was in the Macintosh 2VX case, it is like definitely. I don't know if the fact that I can just like rub some silty dirt off of it is any indication, but it is like. Oh, there we go. I was having trouble tripping it to close it so I can pull the springs off, because that is how crusty. Ugh. That's how. Ew. This thing is like crusty. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this drive to inject. I think this might be a completely. Ah, Apple Internet Router doesn't like Open Transport. Well, it just doesn't know the more sophisticated things in the Mac world. Yeah, this drive is like seized. All right, I'm gonna have to try to get the. wonder if I can get this off without. Okay, well, there's at least that, so I won't risk breaking that. While I try to get the mechanism to. Oh, there we go. There we go. I got it. I think this gearbox is like totally seized up. All right, I finally got it to. All right, finally got it to go down. Let me see if I can get the springs to detach on the sides. There we go. Should be able to get the mechanism out. I somehow suspect for some reason am suspecting that I am going to have to stop on this partway through and continue it on Dave's stream on Sunday. Because this thing is so dirty that I am probably going to put this entire upper assembly and quite possibly part of the lower assembly too in my ultrasonic cleaner. Now, of course, the drawback to that is you just have to, you'll have to lubricate it really well after you're done, but given how crusty this is, I think the benefits might outweigh the drawbacks, or then again, maybe this might clean up without having to do that. I don't know. All right. I don't know where this Mac was used or where it was stored. If anyone's wondering, these needle nose pliers, they're not serrated on the inside. So I wasn't worried about. Ew. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. This is like some really slick. Like really slick and silty, almost like it might have oil in it. Might have been stored in a garage. This may very well have been stored in a garage or used in a garage. Was there any like auto repair software that required a Mac to use? There's a question for the internet. Is anyone aware of auto repair software that was Mac only? I'm not going to smell it, Jeremy. I got enough problems this time of year with allergies. I am not going to smell it. I don't know what I'd be smelling for. If anyone's wondering, the heads are dirty. I might. Okay, you convinced me, and I'm having trouble placing the smell. Well, actually, that part I think I smell the alcohol from the drive heads that I just cleaned. I don't know. Is it black or dark brown? Well, let's go to the microscope. I don't know. I don't want to get this whatever this is on my mouse. So let me there we go. So I will use one hand to maneuver the microscope and mouse. I am still having trouble deciding if that is brown, dark brown, or black. Is it kind of sticky? All right. No, I don't think it's sticky. It feels slick, but that could just be because it's a very fine particle. Jeremy says that's black. Used motor oil is black. I mean, it did kind of smell musty and kind of a maybe with a little hint of oil. So I don't know. Maybe this was stored in a garage. Maybe it was stored in a garage. Maybe I was right on because it could be like kind of used motor oil and or maybe even like burned motor oil if it was like in a garage and they would start cars that were like burning oil. Possibly is. All right. Jeremy says, I've used a few computers in professional garages. They were oily slugs. I mean, the rest of the computer didn't look really oily. But I guess it's possible that given where the floppy drive is in the computer and where the fan would be, that and maybe whatever they were using it for, maybe they actually were using floppy disks. It's also possible the CD-ROM drive might be a replacement. That might be why it wasn't oily. The logic board was pretty nasty, but I I don't know that I necessarily equated it with a. I didn't equate it with a garage, but this floppy drive sure seems like it might be garage material. Yeah, that's definitely black, not brown. But I was also kind of wondering if, I mean, maybe this wasn't like car garage, but maybe machine, like in a machine shop environment. Because I know they use some tapping and cutting fluids that are oil based. Jeremy says maybe the drive came from another Mac. That is entirely possible. Which does kind of lead back to my original question. Does anyone know of any like automotive or I guess machine shop applications that were Mac only? Or that someone might have run on a Mac instead of a PC? I mean, I know there were some CAD programs for the Mac, and I mean, maybe this was more wherever this floppy drive is used was maybe used for CAD, and they maybe for some reason went Mac instead of PC. I mean, maybe whatever they were doing CAD drawings on, maybe they really wanted like the a 2-page display or. Yeah, Jeremy says I might be on correct on the machine shop theory. Because yeah, I don't know what kind of tapping or cutting fluid they might have used, but if they were, if for some reason they had a Mac in part of their operation, because they maybe maybe they got CAD drawings occasionally from people who used Macs, so therefore they had a Mac that could read and load into their production system. I mean, I am not a expert on all things like all the CAD softwares that might be out there, and I do know that there are some for older Macs, and some of them might be specialized for certain applications. So, I mean, it is not without the realm of possibilities that somewhere out there was a machine shop that had a bunch of Macs because one of their clients used one of these Mac based CAD programs for some reason, be it larger displays or it's a specialized CAD program that just is available in the Mac. Or it could be a really early one and it went Mac first because the Mac had a decent graphical environment first. I mean, yep. Jeremy says oil is frequently used when drilling and tapping holes for bolts. And I mean, depending on what type of production they're doing and where, it wouldn't necessarily be that the Mac was actually like right. The Mac might have not been controlling their drilling and tapping process, but it might have been near enough to it that it still picked up some oily, dusty residue. I don't know. Definitely a possibility that somewhere out there in some shop there was a Mac in an operation that normally you'd expect a PC because of whatever software their client was using. All right. Well, the good thing is it I mean, it does look like other than here, on this side of the... I mean, there's definitely whatever this is here. I'll have to try to clean that off. All right, it does look like... If I can find... It doesn't look like the gearbox itself got a bunch of whatever that dirt is in it, but I will kind of need to clean that gear off and lubricate this whole thing. Let's see if I can find my... Yeah, Jeremy says that metal does flake when drilled or tapped with varying sizes of fragments, from those that you can see to those that are too small to recognize with just your eyes. Yeah. Or even just my little microscope. It is quite possible that this gearbox might actually be... no back blaze. You still may not install your update. Jeremy wonders if that residue is ferric. It might be. In fact, I'm actually kind of wondering if this gearbox is... Because once I took this cover off, it smells like... I don't know. It's got a... It doesn't smell like burnt electronics, but it does smell like... maybe some type of oil. Also, the cheese gear is falling apart. Wonder if that... oh, it was attracted to a magnet. I don't know that I got a magnet that'd be suitable for testing it, but... Alright, because we're at 11:54. I'm probably going to wrap the stream here very, very, very shortly. I'll leave... Actually, I will leave the floppy drive on the bench, and I will try to remember to find a magnet from upstairs. And when I get a chance, I'll test that dust and see if it'll stick to the... Jeremy says burned metal smells similar to burned electrical part. Okay, maybe I called it. Maybe this floppy drive is from a Mac that was in a machine shop environment. Welding environment. They probably did welding too. I think it might have been I think it might have been a fabrication shop, not just like a machine shop. I think they did fabrication. I think that's why the smell seems familiar. Because I've been I mean, it was a couple months ago, but I did have to pick up some parts from a fab shop. That might be why the smell seems familiar. I think wherever this Mac, or at least this floppy drive was, I think they did fabrication. That's the smell I smell. It's like the essence of the whole fabrication shop. Welding, drilling, tapping, cutting, sanding, shaping. Yeah, that burned electrical from welding, from burning metal. You got the kind of your oily tapping fluid residue. Yeah, I think this floppy drive was in a machine shop or a fabrication shop. That would probably explain the grade of dust that's in it. Unfortunately, though, it does appear as if I'll put a replacement gear in here, and I'll try to clean this up. I'll, I probably need to clean this more than I would, and then relubricate it. I'll probably put these metal pieces in the ultrasonic cleaner. That means I will have to like lubricate them especially well afterwards, but I kind of need to let the ultrasonic cleaner get into the areas where I can't readily reach. And since I need to change the fluid, I think doing something like that to these pieces probably better that I do it before I change the fluid and not after. Now, this side of the floppy drive, though, I'm just going to have to give it some quality time with a bunch of Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol, because you can't put this part in an ultrasonic cleaner, because that would pretty much wreck the electronics. You can't really take the heads off, because then it's misaligned. You'll never get it aligned again without the jig that Sony had. Anyways, Jeremy says, I know a bit about steel fabrication, at least from a shade tree guy's point of view. Yeah, I figured you might. Anyways, all right. I think this is where I'm going to leave off, because it is right about midnight. So, the last piece to be able to put this thing back, other than me crimping a new connector on a fan so I can install it in the power supply, get this floppy drive cleaned and lubricated. I guess since I was trying to get this done for Marcintosh, I guess if Dave is doing a stream this weekend, because actually it just dawned on me he may not be streaming Sunday because Sunday's Easter. Somehow, I somewhat remember he might have actually mentioned the stream being Saturday. I'll have to check. I don't remember when he was going to stream. If you're still in the chat, maybe you might comment if I'm crazy and thinking you were moving the stream or what. But anyways, I think I might continue working on this on Dave's stream if he is streaming this weekend. That maybe I can get this Quadra 700 CD in for Marcintosh, even if it's not on my channel. At least I'll try to get it in for Marcintosh. But anyways, yeah. But it looks like I'll get to have some quality time cleaning this floppy drive. But hopefully, if I get it cleaned up, it will work. I don't see any... I mean, I've got gears, so I'll be able to replace that cheese gear that's actually falling up. One of the teeth broke when I pulled it out. So, yep, it was definitely its time to be replaced. Anyways, yeah, get this floppy drive cleaned and lubricated. Oh, and the other thing is, I guess as a quick update on the IIvx logic board that was in the case, I have put it through the ultrasonic cleaner because I clipped the caps off of it previously. I did put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, so it is ready for me to recap, and I may do that on Dave's stream too, just to kind of like maybe see if that board even works. But anyways, I did ultrasonically clean it to get the electrolyte off of it, so that if it is a little while before I get to it, it won't keep corroding because I have the electrolyte off. But it does need recapped. I haven't recapped it yet. Anyways, yep, I think this is where I'm going to draw the stream to a close. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining me. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you know when I go live. I have posted my April streaming schedule, mainly because I already had most of it. I just had to add the days that I'll be streaming now because I'm back to my regular streaming schedule. So anyways, you can go check that out. It's I posted it to Patreon and Coffee. It's a public post, so that's out there. I'll probably post it to the YouTube, but I just realized I should probably post it to YouTube too. Yeah, now I got 3 places to post like that, not 2. But anyways, you can go check that out. I'm back to my regular schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So anyways, yep, and then just keep in mind, if you have 8-bit Apple computers, Apple II, Apple III, Apple One clone, Apple II clone, Apple III clone, if that's such a thing, Apple IIe card, any of the Apple 8 bits, April Apples is for you, so you can post April Apples content to your favorite social media channel. So even if you're not a YouTube creator, but you want to kind of document it on X or Mastodon or Blue Sky or whatnot, kind of like Chris does for his PCs on X, go for it. Just tag it April Apples. And you can go to aprilapples.net, I believe it is, if you want more information. Anyways, you can, that'll be here before we know it. Like Monday. No joke. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you here next time. So, Jeremy says I did consider doing an Apple III clone at one time. Okay, at least I didn't think I was completely crazy there. Anyways, yes, have a great rest of your evening. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.